Also, there will be another race just after this one here on Speed Gaming for title against Tigerson. You can catch that after this, but we are set and getting underway here now. So lots of bunny hopping here in the prologue. Most of it is because we actually do receive a small speed boost from jumping. It's very good to use in the prologue. It only saves about a second overall, but optimally maybe 1.5. But it's a strat used among everybody because the prologue obviously is very optimized, as well as the first couple chapters. So it's good to save a little bit of time whenever you can. Benteezy and Doroco both getting through it without a death, which is nice. They do happen, and they can be very embarrassing. And unfortunately, if it did happen in this race, there would be no resetting rather. They would have to deal with the 5 or 10 second time loss that results. So Ben and Doroco both getting started here on Forsaken City. Forsaken City is basically just I wouldn't call it necessarily a tutorial, but it's definitely one of the easiest chapters. So Ben's doing a lot of really intricate dashing here. Most of it has already been explained throughout the tournament, but I'll touch on it really quickly. Hyper dashing is when Madeline dashes down into the ground and jumps at the same time. Basically lowering the arc of her jump, but giving her a huge momentum speed boost at the same time. Another one you might see here and there is a dash cancel or a jump dash, which is basically just pressing dash and jump at the same time, or jump momentarily after dashing. It's a very high jump compared to the hyper dash, and it doesn't give you as much momentum. And then there's the wave dash, which is basically a hyper dash from the air. A fun fact here, Doroco doesn't actually have a submitted any % time. He actually just speedruns Chapter 6B. So this is new territory for him as we see Benteezy finishing up here. Also, there are extended versions of these dashes. You're going to see Doroco attempting it on the right side of the screen right now. He's just going to take the zipper block ahead, or across instead. Basically, an extended dash, an extended hyper, or even an extended jump dash basically gives you your dash back because you press jump in a certain frame window. And Ben's going to be doing one right there, and there's going to be another one on this following screen, which is right there. Cool little strat here. When we do skip cutscenes, they only change our x-axis and completely ignore the y-axis. So by manipulating the cutscene right there, Ben is actually going to spawn. He spawned inside of the dream block, and in turn, he was able to dash straight out of it. Oh, Ben missing the... That's a 3-pixel window. He'll take the easy way there. Doroco finishing up. Forsaken City. A 209. This section is the Battle and Chase, by the way. Figured I might as well touch on that as well. Battle and follows you on a 3-second cycle, and or on a 3-second delay rather, and she basically just mimics your movements, as Ben forced to take a safe route there, as he almost did get caught by Battle-in rather. This room can be a little bit tricky, costly if you do die in it, and it's very, very interesting to watch the amount of runners that have different strats. For that last section, Ben fizzes through it with no problem. Doroco getting through to the dream block section as well now. Apologies if I do go silent for a little bit as well. Solo commentary can be a little demanding for sure, and I just spent a day at work, so I apologize if I fumble over my words or anything crazy. So Ben making his way, pretty clean movement through that awake section, nothing to be disappointed in, and he escapes Chapter 2, and he's about to visit the Celestial Resort next. So right away, you're going to see some little creatures we call dust creatures here in Chapter 3, and those are basically the name of the game for this chapter. You see them right there. They're all stuck, but these ones move on specific cycles, and that's basically what Chapter 3 is all based on, is cycle-based rooms, which makes for some very interesting strats for sure. And a variety of different strats as well. So here's our first instance where you're going to be seeing a little key. They actually don't leave you if you do die. If you do die, you keep the key. You're going to see that come into play for a strat later on in this chapter. And basically, you just got to find a keyhole to put the key in. You know, normal stuff that keys do. I feel like I'm stating the obvious, but... Very nice room there from Benteezy. That room has a lot of different strats as well. Also, failure to mention these lock switches. Touching all of them in the room makes a certain lock block move, as you saw above there, as Ben's going to grab another key. Doroco in that last room now, having a little bit of trouble. He might get caught there. Nope, he's going to get away. Oh, man. This is going to be scary. Yes, he does make it through, though. Good stuff from Doroco. Now you see Ben entering this horrendous-looking room. Just an absolute mess. Well, that's because this section is called Huge Mess. You see that key that's trapped in between everything? Well, we're going to try to clean that entire section up. And in turn doing that, we're going to unlock that key and be able to progress. So there are 3 sections of the Huge Mess section. One that cleans up the clothes, one that cleans up the towels, and the other that cleans up the books. Ben just touched up on the one, or touched the button that cleans up the clothing. And the reason that we use a specific path here is because of Oshiro's positioning after each of the segments. There are 3 pathways, like I just said. You've got the top, the middle, and the bottom, and the pathway that the optimized path for that is bottom, top, and then middle. So you can see Oshiro was right there as soon as Ben came out of that section. And just fizzing his way through this. Does take a death there, though. Was very close. Some of these cycles can be very tight whenever you're using strats that are really optimized. So now that Ben's completed all 3 sections, he's going to go grab that key that's in the middle of the room here. And he's going to head to the elevator shaft. Elevator shaft segment has a lot of longer rooms, and they can be very, very punishing if you die late in them. Been having no trouble with that room. That room can be a bit finicky for sure. A couple of nice time wall bounces here to get to the cutscene. Doroco making his way in now. This is the room. Chain 4 hypers on those chain 4 hypers on those pressure platforms. Make it all the way across the room, grab the key, and then retry to spawn you at the start of the room again rather than dashing all the way back. Saves a good amount of time and is a very cool strat when done perfectly. So Ben is about to reach the presidential suite, and he's about to escape onto the roof, and he's about to be chased by Oshiro, who is now angry at us. Oshiro can be a bit of a butt in this section if you do get on the wrong cycle, but a lot of strats are optimized to make this easier. So basically, Oshiro attacks on the horizontal plane, and when you see that little lightning bolt, that will show the path that he's going to come across at. He can be bopped on the head, and it does give Madeline's dash back. Then coming in on this last room now. This room can be very, very punishing time-wise if there is a death. It is very, very long, as are most of the rooms, most of the last rooms in the chapters in this game. Ben on a different cycle than he's used to there, so he does take it a little bit safely. But 5:10 is still a good time in a race for sure. As Doroco now enters the huge mess segment. Keep in mind, if you see Doroco doing anything unconventional, he does only run 6B. He was talking to me before the race, so it's very, very good to see him doing a full run now for sure. He's actually going to go up top first. Which is a little bit different. I promise I was telling the truth. What you are going to see, though, is that certain blocks here are going to be there for Doroco that weren't there for Ben, and that's because as you clean up the mess, the other rooms get harder. So it's neat that you guys get to kind of see that here. As Ben now in Chapter 4, sorry about that. The wind, main mechanic of this chapter. You're going to see it a lot. These little green blobs, or balls, whatever you want to call them, basically they push Madeline the same distance as a dash would, but they give her dash back when she comes out, kind of allowing a double dash, I guess, if you will. Those clouds are like trampolines. You bounce on them, and then there are these moving platforms as well that are activated when grabbed onto or pushed, or landed on. A couple of neatly timed wall kicks there. A couple more neatly timed wall kicks. Now, what's Ben gonna do? Okay. I was wondering if he'd try it without the block, but Ben's not an absolute madman. He does get that strat per first try, though. The bunny hop strat there is a little bit harder than the regular extended hyper strat, so it's very cool to see runners get that, especially on the first try. The red clouds do disappear when you land on top of them as well. There's a reverse hyper dash. Basically, any dash can be reversed if you quickly change the direction while still holding the down input. For reverse hypers, at least. This room's a bit boring, just an auto-scroller. Doroco finishing up the second section of the huge mess here. Not used to seeing all those towels still there like that, though. Not used to coming from that area, actually. Cool little strat here. Ben's... Good recovery. Did not have to retry. He's going to do a wall bounce off of that block there, and then basically skip an entire wind cycle from the traditional strategies used there. And he actually gets in front of that that directional block too, which is pretty neat. So you're going to see these snowballs. They're fizzed at us on a 3-second cycle, or sorry, 4-second cycle, I do believe it is, if I recall correctly. Been taking a couple of unfortunate deaths in this room. This room in itself, specifically, is a bit annoying. Makes it through after that, no problem, though. The snowballs can very, very much cause a bit of a fracas if you're not used to them coming at you on a specific timing. So if you do mess up a strat and take too long to complete a room, sometimes the snowballs can be a bit of a pain in the butt. Last room here for Benteezy now. Finishing up Ridge on a 314, which is not bad at all. Doroco into the elevator shaft here. Oh, unfortunately missing that lock. Does get it though. Oh, but he's going to take a death to the dust floor. That's unfortunate. I kind of saw that coming from a mile away. It's a bit of a shame. Well done there on the third try. I think that was though. So Ben now entering Mirror Temple, which is meant to be basically a search and find, kind of a puzzle chapter, if you will, casually, but we make it look really easy. These red balls are basically the same as the green ones, except they don't stop going in a certain direction until Madeline either dashes out of them or they are, like, they run into something. So our good friend Theo is trapped inside the mirror, which is a shame. Poor Theo. Please drop a like to pay respects. These dash platforms, they are activated when Madeline dashes or whenever the player dashes. And basically they move on set planes, as you'll see a little coaster behind them that they follow. Also, to reply to Berto in chat, I agree with the screen shake. It's a bit disorienting for sure. Also, Benteezy taking an unfortunate death in this room. If you do this on the perfect cycle, you can actually dash diagonally right over those walls into the next red ball, and completely avoid those blades. But unfortunately, sometimes going too fast can be punishing in this game, and that was one of the instances. As Doroco now in the Oshiro section. Benteezy now in this unraveling, or about to go into the unraveling section, now playing as a Seeker, basically just to give you an understanding of how these things work. Doroco really blasting through this for someone who's not run any percent that much, or at all for that matter. So after a few cutscene skips here with battling in on Benteezy's screen, taking a death to the spikes there, carrying too much momentum. We're going to see our first Seeker on the next screen right here. He's going to pop out of that statue. And from here on, you're going to see them in almost, I do believe, actually, like almost every single room from here out. A neat little thing is that, as you can see on Ben's screen, he did actually get the Seeker to hit that lock switch for him. It is possible for that to be done, and it's very, very useful. Nice little strat there by Ben, knocking that Seeker straight down by bopping it on the head right onto that lock switch. Very neat strat. I love that one. So this last room is a bit longer than the others. It's got 5 lock switches. Good stuff from Benteezy here, though. Oh my goodness! And as I say that, the commentators curse. Ben, he knows. He knows. I think he was teabagging there because it was a bit of my fault. I think he knew. That's unfortunate. Oh my goodness, and he almost did it again. So Doroco now in the last room of the Oshiro section. Taking a death, though. Unfortunate. Here's a skip called Search Skip. If you blink, you miss it. Benteezy just did it. I apologize if you weren't looking, because it is gone, and you probably won't see it again until Doroco gets there. It skips, believe it or not, despite it looking small as heck, it actually saves about 3 to 4 minutes off of the traditional way that Mirror Temple's supposed to be done. Basically, in that large section, you're supposed to search for 2 keys and unlock two keyholes to take a red ball all the way across that section. Instead, we're just to heck with that, and we just reverse jump dash right over it. And Doroco finished up Chapter 3 there, but I don't really have much time to talk about that because Ben is now into the Theo section. Unfortunately, when we're carrying Theo, who is now trapped in this crystal, again, poor Theo, man. He really has a rough go. That Seeker's in a rough position for Ben. Oh, he escapes it barely. We can't actually dash with Theo, but we can dash before we pick him up or throw him and then catch him and maintain our momentum from the dash. And basically that's how most of the strats and most of the tech goes in this this general section. Theo section, one of the best I wouldn't say best program, but the best on a creative standpoint by the devs for sure. I really like this section, and it makes for some very, very interesting strats. So this last room of the Theo section, again, very, very long. It's the last room, well, the second last room of the chapter, technically, but it is the last challenging room of the chapter, but Ben just gets through it without problem. This is the last room. You'll see these little waves here. They push you back. Nothing too threatening if you know how to deal with them. They come on a set cycle. And just like that, Chapter 5 is finished. And Doroco is about 1/3 of the way through Chapter 4 now as well. But now into my favorite chapter, Chapter 6. This chapter is very well done, in my opinion. I really like this chapter, if he's going to start, that is. Doroco going for that wall kick as well. The corner jump there can be a little finicky sometimes. I do have trouble with it occasionally, but a lot of runners actually have trouble with it occasionally. Doroco taking a bit of time here is a little costly. Having a lot of trouble, actually. So I'll move to Ben's screen real quick. I'll explain the feathers later because we're going to see a quick door skip. Whoa, jeez. A little premature there. We're going to see lake skip. Ben's struggling, though. Both of our runners struggling with some strats here. Ben a little angry, just decides to go the normal way and misses the crush block. Oh, Benteezy, you never fail to amaze us, sir. Is he gonna go back and try lake skip again? I think he is. Oh my goodness. And he spawns all the way back at the other side of the room again. And he just restarts the chapter. Benteezy at his finest, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute comedian. Absolute comedian. I can explain the feathers now, though. They run out on set time intervals. Ben's still taking deaths here on lake skip. Hey, there it is! Ben finally getting lake skip. That is so funny. I'm sorry. I have push to talk on, and I let go for a good 5 seconds because I absolutely lost it. Doroco about halfway through, or sorry, yeah, about halfway through Chapter 3 now. Ben doing a neutral wall kick there. Will he get the strat here? Oh, unfortunately not. What he tried to do was carry his momentum from that dash and dash over to that falling block and drop it before the crush block makes it there and collides with it, just setting the crush block completely on its own trajectory. And in turn skipping about 3 seconds. Not a huge time loss. But I don't think Ben cares about time loss anymore after that that wonderful start to this Chapter 6. I'm going to have a long talk with him about that. Nicely timed dashes there, that extended dash and the dash after from Benteezy on that screen. These bumpers appear here and there in this chapter. The neat thing about them, is if you are facing away from them when you make contact with them, it does give you an extra boost compared to normal, which was actually programmed in by the devs. Another way to tell that this was definitely a speedrun built game. Ben taking the top path here. You won't see that many runners do it actually. I'm not quite sure why. It doesn't save that much time, but it is technically faster. Ben's skipping an entire feather there. And skipping another feather as well. That's very impressive. Oh, Doroco taking an unfortunate death there. So Ben in this very long room now is going to take a couple of dev-intended shortcuts through those 2 sections rather than going all the way around the room and make it through the bottom one as well. No problem. So we're getting close to my favorite section of the game here on Benteezy's side. So you're gonna see a nice momentum trick here. Not as hard to do as it looks, where he just jets through that room, and all of a sudden, hey, we're in the battle line fight. So Battlin's a little bit angrier than she was before now, so we actually have to fight her. As sad as that may be. Yeah, let's get some Hayas in the chat, can we? Wonderful soundtrack. So the Battlin fight is all completely room-based. There is no health bar, which makes this fight unique. Basically, we have to hit her a set amount of times in each room for her to break through the ground and head to the next one. See, Ben got a little confused there, missing that hit. Nothing too troublesome, though. Skips that feather. Oh, I love that strat. Very impressive from Benteezy. Skipping another feather there as well. Doroco in a very punishing room in Chapter 4 right now. It can be a bit of a pain in the butt, especially with the snowballs. Was the next thing I was going to say, and as I did, he got killed by one. The commentator's curse is back. It takes another one as well. Really hurts you to see that. Ben at the same time, blowing through this Battlin section. So the second phase of the Battlin fight is actually a bit different. These blocks move on set intervals rather than falling from the sky, or falling from the ceiling, rather, like they did in the last section. And they can be used to do a few momentum-based tricks. You did see Ben do one at the very, very start that I failed to speak up on, but... Oh, Ben with a misdirected dash there. Goes right instead of left, and unfortunately takes a death. Doroco in the last room of that Chapter 4 now, hoping for a bit of help from the win. Ben in the last room of the battle and fight now, a very, very long room. A death at the end can be very punishing. Ben looks like he's going to get through it, no problem. And he finishes. And basically we're going to go and we're going to make up with Battlin, and as you can see, Madeline's hair is now pink on Ben's screen, which basically is the sign that he has the ability to dash twice now, which is going to allow for some more awesome and interesting strats in this in the summit. Getting a little bit of story there from Benteezy. Awesome stuff. Real talk, though, if you do want to see any of the story here, because we don't get to see much of it in the speedrun, make sure, please, if you haven't already, purchase this game. Play it for yourself. It's a wonderful, wonderful game. One of my favorite of 2018 so far, for sure. If not my favorite of 2018. Very, very good stuff. Very, very well done from the dev team. And Ben is going to head into the summit now. The summit is a culmination of all the chapters. You're going to see different sections based on different chapters. Basically just testing you on everything while adding the second dash mechanic in. This first section, as you can see, largely based off of the reflections. Doroco having a little bit of trouble with this skip here involving the... Oh, good stuff! Wow! That was a very, very nicely timed reverse hyper dash from Doroco there, and he avoids those as well. Oh no. Alright, he's able to get away from that. Good stuff from Doroco. Ben now in the 500-meter section based off of Forsaken City. You're going to see the zippers make their return again as well. Ben making his way through it very, very cleanly. No problems whatsoever. Doroco in the large dark room of Mirror Temple now. And Ben finishing up 500 meters pretty well. So something I didn't mention earlier about dream blocks. You do die if you hit a wall while you're maintaining, or still maintaining the dash inside of one. If you do make contact with a wall, you do die. And they are actually, for whatever reason, possible to hyperdash out of. Like that. And you can also jump twice out of them as well, if you time the two jumps very, very well. So basically, they're just really fun from a speedrunner standpoint. As you can see the hyperdashes out of them. Oh, Benteezy not making it through that one, though, unfortunately. Very good stuff from him. And despite how easy they make, Benteezy makes it look, those are actually pretty difficult. Oh, narrowly avoiding a death there, and then he dies in the next screen anyways. Doroco getting set, taking an unfortunate death there, though. Now Ben in the section that no one likes to talk about because it is terrible and difficult and hard. 1,500 meters based off of Celestial Resort. Very fun to watch from a spectator and commentator standpoint, however, very, very hard in some rooms as a runner. Ben getting those ultra strats there, very nice. So Doroco is about to enter the unraveling section. Apologies for the voice crack there. Like I said, I've been using my voice a lot today, so I apologize. You can make fun of it. I won't be offended. This last room, Benteezy makes it through just fine. And he'll move now into the 2,000 meter section, which is based off of Golden Ridge. Right away, you're going to see a different path taken here by Benteezy. He's going to jump up, do a nice little wall bounce there, do a couple of wave dashes off of the ground and then off the cloud to save his dash. It is faster to do that route, or do it that route, rather than taking the other one. Ben's still got that berry. I'm not sure if he, not that it matters if he collected it or not, but I'm not sure if he did. Auto-scroller skip here from Benteezy. Nicely done. Basically, it's a hyper dash, or an extended hyper dash off of that directional platform, which gives him enough momentum to completely scale the rest of that room and avoid having to take that block all the way across and instead doing a nice little wall bounce at the very end off of one of the corners. Doroco now fully in the unraveling section, dealing with the Seekers. Ben about to enter the last room of 2,000 meters before he heads to 2,500. Which is, if you couldn't have guessed, based off of Mirror Temple. I can only apologize for butchering my English. I am Canadian. Get used to apologies. Ben, in maintaining his dash there before going into that first room, is able to avoid basically an auto-scrolling point from those dash blocks. And he's about to do what we like to call key skip, which is 2 well-timed corner jumps there. Those spike hitboxes are actually a lot smaller than the sprite. Not a lot smaller, but are smaller than the sprites themselves. So it may look like he should have died there, but thanks to the hitboxes being smaller, he didn't. Somehow missing that red ball there as well. And didn't keep his dash there as well. This is actually a pretty interesting strat there, the timing. Ben going for door skip here, and he's going to miss it the first try. Is he going to go again? Seems like he's taking some time to make his decision, or rather just taking a deep breath before going for it again. Oh, but he dies on the second door this time. He'll try it once more. Benteezy gets it on the third try. You know what they say, third try is the charm. Third try is the charm. Oh, he's going to do it again. Oh, no, he's going to do it the normal way. Oh, Benteezy. If only I knew what was going through this man's head. Because I could speak more about the thought process in going behind some of these decisions, but I'm just as confused as you are. I promise. Trying to keep this as entertaining as I possibly can, guys. I try hard. But now at 3,000 meters. So basically 3,000 meters replaces screen transitions with these checkpoint flags, and you respawn at them if you die, rather than, you know, transitioning from screen to screen. And this is one final, like, large climb to the top, and it's very, very satisfying. Right here, you're going to see these lines going down. That's actually wind. It's downdraft. Oh, Ben skipped a checkpoint there, too, so he pays the price for that death for sure. He's going to skip it again, though. And he won't die this time. Good stuff from Ben. The downdraft basically makes gravity, you know, harder. We're going to see an updraft section after it as well. That kind of feels like zero gravity. So intensifying gravity and lifting gravity a bit more in these two sections. Ben making it through the downdraft without any problems other than that one death. Doroco now in the Theo section as well. Wow, nice boost from him there. Very nice stuff. That's not the strat that you normally see there, but definitely a good one from Doroco. Yeah, Ben now on the updraft section. It does make for a bit tougher to control, in my opinion. But then again, so is the downdraft section, so... This flag can be very punishing if you die late. Gets it. No problem. And then dies shortly after. Nice little neutral jump there to avoid those spikes. Also, yeah, that is tournament first. Benteezy is actually the first person to do door skip and the non-door skip strat in the same room. Incredible scenes here on Speed Gaming 4 right now. Monumental. Ben now in the last section of 3,000 meters. He's going to take a look through the binoculars, isn't he? Yep. Make sure you scale out that room. You know, it's very hard. This is actually a very important strat. It's not an important strat, guys, by the way. I'm totally joking. I have no idea what Ben's doing. There's the flag. At least he knows where it is now, right? I have so many questions. Ben now on flag 2, coming up towards the end here. And Ben's gonna make it through flag 1 here, and he is finished. Very good stuff from Benteezy. 36-13 with a lot of interesting stuff happening as well. So now we turn our attention to Doroco, who is currently still in Mirror Temple, making his way through. So we may get Benteezy in here for a quick interview. We'll see. GG's to Benteezy. Now improving to 4-0, still undefeated. Doroco now in the last room here of Mirror Temple, taking a bit of abuse from these waves before finally finishing it off. Good stuff. So no matter what, guys, feel free to get hyped. Doroco is on PB pace, no matter what. You heard me correctly. Doroco will PB, no matter what. So that will be a technically still another PB here in the Celeste Any Tournament, which is awesome. I thought he was going to go for leg skip there for a second. So most of the stuff you're going to see on Doroco's screen from now on... Oh, very nice there, actually. Taking that side of the crush block. So yeah, for a first any percent one run from Doroco, will we see the sub 1 hour is the question. Again, like I said, super hard to commentate on Doroco's side right now because, oh, not getting the momentum there, unfortunately. Most of the stuff you're seeing on Doroco's screen, we've already seen. Also, apologize for the audio delay. That must be on Doroco's side, not Speed Gaming's. Or I think it would have been fixed by now for sure. Doroco going underneath rather than going above. Something I haven't seen in a while. Doroco taking a nice improv route there with the bumpers in this room. Might I just say that 5C strat is completely disgusting. Doroco actually taking the top route here. He is going to take a death, though, unfortunately. Oh, great save from Doroco there. Wow. Very good stuff. Having a quick chat with Grandma before he now moves on as well. Oh, unfortunate death there at the end of that room, though. Doroco finally getting through that longer room there. Taking a little bit of time through this water section, though, unfortunately. Doing a miniature version of the battle and boost there before heading into the battle and fight now. Get some more hayas going on here. Screen shake is very, very noticeable in this section because of all the dashing. The battle in rooms can be very punishing as well in terms of time. Doroco making his way through the battle and fight with not that much problem so far. Still, anything very, very good for his standard. Unfortunate that they're on the spikes. Like I said, I really apologize for the lack of commentary here. It's just there's not all that much to say about this section. Taking some unfortunate deaths here with that feather before finally getting it. Something I did fail to mention earlier, though. The Battle-In section, Battle-In features 2 attacks, one of which is a laser, the other of which are these little fireballs. Very good stuff there, not needing to use that platform at all. And we do have Benteezy with us now.
Hello, friend.
Hello, good sir. So, did you enjoy yourself?
Only at the end, and only with the binoculars.
That was yeah, very, very interesting decision, I must say. But GG's nonetheless. It's still a W for you, so that's good. Still remaining undefeated, 4-0 now.
Yeah, thank you.
But the question I wanted to ask you was what exactly was the start of Chapter 6? What happened there, and what was going through your head? It was really, I must say, like, I was laughing very, very hard. Like, it was very funny to watch, but...
So my PB has, like, my gold, like, my personal best for Chapter 6 and my personal best for Chapter 7. But they're still both pretty improvable if I just complete the levels without dying.
Right.
So I went into Chapter 5 3 seconds behind my PB. 3. And then in Unraveling, when my controller dashed up right instead of up at the end of that Seeker section,
the last room, yeah.
I lost 18 seconds or something. And I was really frustrated right in that moment. And I was like confused because I know for sure I didn't press up right. So I was like, the thoughts of like, is my controller starting to die, like, were going through my head. And then the search section was whatever, I made some stupid mistakes. That's fine, that's my own fault. But then right, like, entering the third screen of the Theo section, like right before I went through the transition, Madeline just threw Theo for no reason, like without me letting go of grab. So what transpired was me progressing through like the next 2 or 3 screens with totally different momentum that I'm used to, and having to like fix like every single room as I was entering it. And it was like, it just like the frustration started like building up and building up and building up.
Yeah, not only that, it completely throws you off too, having you do things differently.
Yeah, and so I wound up coming out of Chapter 5 plus 36, so I lost like 33 seconds all overall in the chapter. And I was like, whatever, if I have a perfect Chapter 6 and a perfect Chapter 7, I can still get a really good time on this run. So that was like what I thought, like going into Chapter 6. And mind you, this is my 4th tournament race. I've gotten Lake Skip first try on every single other tournament race. This is the first one. This was the first one that Lake Skip gave me any trouble in like my last like 15 runs. So when I messed up Lake Skip the first time, I was like, whatever, I probably just missed a line. Tried it again. Then she dashed the wrong way. Then I died. And then I was like, okay, Madeline, you want to die? Sure, let's go kill you. And I went and I got the Kevin block and I launched it all the way across the room. And I was like, yep, when it comes back, it's going to kill me. And then it came back and it killed me. And then I restarted the chapter so that I could try to get like a decent Chapter 6 time.
Yeah.
And it actually would have been a really good Chapter 6 for me if she hadn't misdirect dashed at the second to last battle line screen. She dashed to the right instead of to the left. So
yeah, I saw that as well.
I don't know. I might need to like buy one of the screwdrivers on Amazon to open up an Xbox One controller, maybe like clean it out, because I don't actually own the screwdriver to open this controller, so I can't like clean it, and it's just like it's getting really frustrating. And if that kind of stuff happens to me like in the later stages of the tournament, like I would be like Like I wouldn't even come into the Discord because it's just
Yeah, it would
like,
be that tilting, you know.
I'm already someone who's like really hard on myself, so like it's bad enough that I beat myself up over my own mistakes. For the character to do things that are like outside of my control is like just so frustrating.
Yeah. Nothing to be said in like a derogatory manner at all, but it was very fun to watch the start of chapter 6. I must say.
No,
I know you were probably a little tilted, but it was funny stuff. At least you managed to keep it interesting for sure.
That's what I whenever I get mad, I try to make it at least enjoyable to watch if I'm being restreamed. Like if you ever watch any of my Link to the Past randomizer races, like if I got trolled by an item or something and then like I find it later, you'll see me doing like I'll start casting Quake and dropping bombs everywhere and like just going crazy. And just like I feel like at least if I can make it funny to watch, like it could relieve some of the stress for myself going forward.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good mentality to have for sure.
In randomizer though, you can't see what your opponent is doing, so like
Yeah.
I've actually lost races for like getting tilted and spamming Quake because there was a race. Well, I won't get too far into it, but basically I found an item that unlocked something right next to it, and I didn't check the thing right next to it because I forgot. And half an hour later, the boots were there, and I was just like, "Oh my god, are you serious?"
That's rando, dude. That's really rando in a nutshell.
So I'm gonna try to do a full clear of summon here while my opponent finishes up.
Yeah.
And then,
feel free.
I'll say GG to him again from Twitch chat, but
yeah,
I'm gonna get off because my controller.
Yeah, that's totally fine. So yeah, good luck with your. Yeah, no problem. Good luck with that controller problem, and hopefully it either fixes itself or you're able to fix it somehow.
Yep. Thank you.
And GG's again on the race.
Thanks again.
All right. So Doroco now in Summit. Well, I was talking to Benteezy. He did complete chapter 6. Making his way through the 500-meter section. Unfortunately, not making it up the first time or the second time. Good thing that the good thing is about that though is the refresh crystal is right there, so he's able to get his stamina back. The refresh crystals, I can actually talk about this because I hadn't mentioned it. The refresh crystals not only give you your dashes back when you run into them, but they also do replenish stamina as well, which is very nice. Good job of Doroco on that lock switch screen. And will he take the long path or the short path? He's going to elect for the long path, which is completely fine. Oh, unfortunate death there, though. He is gonna run into the corner there. That's no problem at all, though. He'll recover from that just fine. Doroco making his way through this section now into the last room. Unfortunately, just missing that dash block. Or that not the dash block, my apologies. The dream block. Making it through. Onto the 1500-meter section. Now it'll be interesting to see how he handles this section. Like I said, very punishing. Some of the rooms in this section very long. Very mean. Whoa, narrowly escaping that first one without a death. Wow, that's an interesting strat there for sure. Wow! I have no idea, not to take away from that, I have no idea how he did not die in that lock switch room. Wow. Also, it's also worth mentioning. Goodness gracious. It's also worth mentioning for sure that Doroco runs on keyboard as well, and Benteezy runs on controller. Not that there's a hindrance or a handicap on either of them for sure. They're both completely viable, and there are some very good keyboard runners in the community for sure. Just felt that was worth mentioning for sure. Doroco not going through the floor here. He'll take the traditional way over, which is just barely slower than the bottom route. Into the last room of 1500. Doroco has done very, very well at this section. I may have ruined it. Oh, the commentator's curse not coming in though. Very happy. That was a very, very good section from Doroco. As now he moves into 2,000 meters. Doroco taking the lower path here, which is easier for a runner of his caliber for sure. The wind, unfortunately, taking a toll on him there. This room usually causes some troubles. Oh, unfortunate. I think he tried to bounce off of the snowball there to get his dash back, and unfortunately took a death instead. That would have been a very nice save, and another death to the snowballs. This is what I mean about the snowballs. They can be very, very annoying at times. Narrowly getting into that green ball there. And able to make it through without problem. Probably won't be seeing an auto-scroller skip here from Doroco. I highly doubt it, at least, unless he's willing to try it. No, we'll just see the traditional way for this one, which is very respectable for sure. Oh, but I think he is going to do the... Oh, no! That's unfortunate! I think he did want to try the corner bounce there, but unfortunately couldn't do it. And again, unfortunately, no way through that room without that block. This time taking an even safer strat. Oh, just barely making it to the block. Oh my goodness. Had to hold my breath there for him for sure. For a less experienced runner, it can be very difficult to make it through some of those auto-scroller rooms. Because some of these rooms are very, very tough on a casual play, for sure, when first getting used to the movement and whatnot. Doroco able to make it through that long wind room can be a bit difficult at times, for sure. Ooh, Doroco getting the extended hyper dash there. Very good stuff from Doroco in that room. Impressive, especially for someone who doesn't run 80%. I mean, you guys are seeing history for Doroco right now. Never completed an any percent run. At least no submitted time for any percent. Finally making it through the 2,000 meter section into the 2,500 now. Yeah, guys, let's get some hype in the chat for Doroco here. Come on. Very big stuff for him. And in fact, he didn't even know this was being restreamed until just earlier. So, he said he was going to be extra nervous because of that, so make sure to cheer him on. This room can be a bit troublesome, especially if you're trying to do it the quick way. However, he will do it the normal way. Probably not going to go for a key skip. Oh, he is going to go for a key skip here. Takes a death. Gets it on the second try. Nice stuff from Doroco. Still saved him time over going all the way down. That's very impressive. Also narrowly avoiding a death there. And another. Doroco doing the stuff of dreams. Oh my goodness. That's an exact spot where you can see that the spike hitboxes are smaller than the sprite themselves. Will he go for door skip? No. I didn't expect it anyways, but it would have been really funny to see him try. It's Doroco about to finish up and get to the final climb here. When he gets up there, I want to see you guys counting checkpoints with him. Come on. Oh, narrowly avoiding a death there, but he does escape, no problem. And now into the final climb. Very good stuff with those dashes there from Doroco as well. But yeah, let's get the countdown in the chat as he hits a flag, or as he hits each flag, sorry. To be completely honest, the room that he just did with those refresh crystals, I had no idea it was possible to do with just diagonal dashes. Oh, I was gonna say, is he going to keep that checkpoint? Wow. Very nice stuff so far from Doroco. Absolutely fizzing his way through this section. Oh, and unfortunately the commentator's curse makes its second grand appearance in this match. But he really is just speeding through this. Again, it's worth noting, he's never finished, I'm not sure, at least not documented, a finished any percent run. So this is huge. Now in the updraft section as well. If Doroco does hit an hour and 12 minutes, which I don't think he will, that would mean that he doubled Benteezy's time. Just a little fun fact, because I can do math. Will he make it through Flag 13 fine is the question. This can be very punishing if he dies at the end. Oh, readjust! He would have been fine had he not tried to readjust his positioning. That's unfortunate. You can imagine that he's nervous right now as well. Coming on the end now of this updraft section. This part can be a little bit tricky. Gets through that, no problem though. Good stuff. This coming down to the end now for Doroco, and unfortunately, seeing as this race has taken so long, we won't have time for a word with Doroco. Doroco's made it to flag 1 now, closing off the run. Very good stuff. This is his first finished any percent run, or first documented any percent run. And there it is. A 1:10:40 to finish things off for Doroco. 1:10:41. I correct myself. Apologies. GG's to Doroco in his first documented finished any percent run for sure. So well done to both runners. And as I said before, unfortunately, we're not going to have time for a word with Doroco, but sit right where you are. Stay tuned, because we've got another race coming up. Another Celeste race coming up between Tidal and Tigerson. So you guys make sure you stick around. GG's to the runners. Make sure you follow the runners as well. Follow the runners on their channels. And feel free to follow me at GDTog on Twitch as well. And I do believe that's about it. So thank you so much for watching, guys. And stick around for some more Celeste.